Hey, what's going on, stars? It's me, Shorter Star, and I'm back. Listen, first off, I want to thank you for your continued support on my channel. Please remember to subscribe, like, comment, and if you like it, share it. That's all I need you to do. I'm going to tell you I don't know. I don't know if it's the algorithm or whatever, and I don't want to blame it on anything, but I know that my subscribership is still over 5,000, but my viewerships on daily videos or I've had videos at 70,000, at 50,000. You can go back towards my videos, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I have maybe almost over 150. Anyway, I have a lot of videos, but I have had video ships of I've had 70,000 views, 50,000 views, 20,000 views. And now that I pay attention, I some of my videos don't even reach 100 views, and that doesn't make sense when I have a subscribership of over 5,000. So I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to keep doing my part. And like I said, it's to bring you and so we can talk and we can get together, right? Today I am drinking me some ginger tea. The weather's weird here in New Jersey today. And we're going to jump right into it. I'm going to bring up a picture and we're going to get to it. Give me 1 second. Okay, boom. Okay, so you have a picture now of Mary Cosby and a picture of her son, Robert Cosby, who was 23 years old. And Robert Cosby Jr., 23-year-old, he's the son of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City star Mary Cosby, passed away on February 23rd, 2026, right? It says Robert Cosby Jr. was found unalive at a home in Salt Lake City after police responded to a call regarding a possible overdose. Um, the case is under investigation. We have watched, those of us that are fans of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and I am a fan, and I also am a fan of Mary Cosby, and um, Mary Cosby can dress. Her fashion sense is fire. She gives it to the chicks. Like, she really brings it in the fashion realm for me. I mean, this woman is out in Chanel ski suits, and I like the glamour of it all. And I am a fan of the Housewives franchises. There's only a few me coming from New York, that was my least favorite. New York was my least favorite because me being born and raised in New York, there's other fashionable things that goes on in New York. Everything wasn't the Upper East Side, like it was just like crazy. I didn't think the representation of New York was what it should be. And then where was the girls, the black girls? And like, are you kidding me? Anyway, getting back to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Mary Cosby, she allowed the cameras into our home. A lot of times reality isn't really reality. A lot of it is scripted. But I congratulate and I thank Mary Cosby because I'm sure she's helped others by letting her see the real her. Because at one time, Mary was considered very closed up and she didn't want to be around the girls. And they, like, when they spoke of her church, because she's a pastor of a church, and most of you guys will remember Mary Cosby as she's the one that was supposed to have married her grandfather. And just to make it clear, right or wrong, Mary Cosby's grandmother was a pastor and she owned businesses. She married a younger guy who is Robert Sr., and allegedly on her deathbed, she told Mary and Robert that she wanted them to get together so Mary can take care of Robert in the manner that Robert had taken care of her. Because Robert was younger than the grandmother, but yet older than Mary. And that's what they did. They got married. People were saying she married her grandfather. He was married to her grandmother, but there was no blood relation. However, they had a son, Robert Jr., which is what we're talking about now, 23 years old. And we had saw the effects of what was going on camera. I remember the last time that last time I saw them on camera together, he looked so high, and the high wasn't because she asked him in that conversation, "Did you smoke anything today? Did you?" And he said, "Yeah, he had smoked some marijuana, right?" But you can clearly tell that that wasn't what was it. It was something else. It was more of a dopey look, and it wasn't that. And so they say that Robert Cosby Jr. He had a history of mental illness and substance abuse, and we knew that because we did get to see some of that on the show. Allegedly, he started using experimenting with drugs at the age of 16, and after reading the reports, they allegedly include Xanax, Adderall, cocoa, acid, Molly, marijuana, just like and on and on. And he had been into he's completed a few or a couple of 30-day rehabilitation programs, but he always relapsed afterwards. I did know that he had during this drug thing he had met some girl and allegedly, from what I understand, they used to do drugs together, but maybe she wasn't as bad as him. I don't know. But they wound up sneaking off and get married. And Mary wasn't happy to find out that he had snuck off. She had started hearing rumors, but he had never mentioned to her, and he admitted to her on TV that they did go get married. And for at some point, him and his wife was living in Mary's house, even though they never showed the wife. They were always upstairs in the bedroom and this, that, and the third. And Mary did everything to try to protect her son. And like I said, I have to give my hats off. She was not afraid to show that and show that part of. Some people would be embarrassed. Some people would be ashamed, especially when you're a pastor and you're a shepherd over your flock and over others. It's hard to admit when things are not going right in your backyard. So I think that was a great thing that Mary got to show. And like I said, they have tried to compare her church to a cult. And I come from Kojic, Church of God in Christ. I grew up in church most of my whole childhood and young adult. And I watched what Mary allowed the cameras into her church. We watched her pray. We watched her preach. We watched her, tarry with her congregation. And I didn't think it was a cult, but that depends on who you speak to. And that's not what this is about. But we've seen Mary go through a lot of different things. And like I said, you used to see her husband on the first couple of seasons. You would see him periodically. Then for the last like 2 seasons, he's moved to their house in Vegas and you never see him. And she was kind of hands on with her son, so it seemed from what we could see on her own. And so, yeah, I wanted to just send our condolences to Mary and her family. And, it has to be hard. And that was her only child. So we're going to move on to something else. Let me get this off. Did you guys hear about Bill Gates apologizing to his staff for the Epstein ties, but he admits to having two different affairs? So Bill Gates apologized to his staff at his charitable foundation for any ties that he had with Jeffrey Epstein. He apologized for the scandal and, being connected with him in any way, form, or fashion, pretty much. Okay. But get into this. Now, we know Bill Gates, one of the wealthiest men in the world, the Microsoft co-founder, right? Well, he have reportedly admitted that he first met Epstein in 2011. Okay, now pay attention. 2011, 3 years after the disgrace, New York financier's conviction for soliciting prostitution from a minor. So Jeffrey Epstein was arrested and convicted of soliciting prostitution from a minor back in 2008. Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates admits to meeting Epstein for the first time in 2011. Now, we've seen numerous pictures, and you can tell they weren't all taken in one night. They're hanging out, their parties. It's him, and you've seen Bill Gates, you've seen ex-president or former President Clinton, you've seen President Trump, President Trump, and one second. did y'all hear the other day that President Trump was, I think he was on Air Force One and he was being interviewed by some reporters and he said that he had been completely exonerated when it came to the Epstein files. And I was like, when did all of this happen? And I'm like, this man, did you exonerate yourself? No, for real. I'm asking. Did you exonerate? Nobody exonerated. Your name was mentioned almost more than anybody's. But now when he talks, he states that he has been completely Child, girl. Anywho, listen. Back to Bill Gates. Apparently, a lot of people are running scared. Who's being connected now? Being connected to Jeffrey Epstein's through these files. First of all, I'm going to say this personal to you, and I don't put a lot of faith and a lot of energy into these Epstein files. First of all, they released them whenever they were ready. Then, when they release whatever they've released so far, they seem to be. There seem to be. Give me 1 second. There seems to be. They're redacting everything. Nothing seems to be. It's like we're being. They're making us think of all of this stupid stuff that they're not going to, that they're not. Listen, I don't want to hear about the Epstein files again until someone's ready to do something about it. All of these women, all of these young women that are being mentioned, anything, until they come up and say, listen, I did this, I was forced to do that. And because you're getting the files, everything's redacted, names, and it's just ridiculous. And I think it's just a way of they're just throwing stupid, and we're falling for it. I don't even care about them anymore at this point. And how could you? And just knowing means what? No one's doing anything. No one's doing anything. Like, really? Come on. We're actually at war now. Hello? We're actually at war right now. And we're talking about some Epstein files, and every time they release a page, half of it is redacted. What? What are you talking about? What's going on? Okay, so like I said, Bill Gates apologized to his staff for any ties with the Epstein files after, and then admitting with that he had two affairs, or I assume around those times he was hanging around Jeffrey Epstein. So you want us to understand, so you're telling us you apologizing for being friends, because how many times have we, regular people, have been friends with people when they were on the right, straight and narrow, but then somewhere they make a turn or a left, they may even commit anything. But I'm not going to apologize for being their friend. We've been friends with who we're being friends with. But at this point, I'm no longer in line with who you've grown to be. We're not the same anymore. They're not like us. I don't know. I just think, okay, so you apologize for being friends with Epstein and for this coming up. Okay, boom. Then you state in that, oh, but I did have two affairs. Okay, so you're admitting to that. So you apologize, and now you're trying to bring us in to trust you because now you're admitting to two affairs when clearly it was something. Your wife got all that. Your ex-wife ain't get all that money for nothing. I don't know. Um, Listen, I don't know. I think a lot of people are running scared. I think a lot of names are mentioned. And people are not. But like I said, I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of hearing about it. It's ridiculous. We're going to move on to the next thing. Okay, I have two stories, right, about kindergarten teachers, and tell me if you're interested. Now, pay close attention. Seriously, pay close attention to this. I'm gonna tell you the title, and then we're gonna go into the story, right? And it's not funny, but I mean, look, boom. Trans kindergarten teacher identifies as wolf, fired after parents raise complaints. Okay, a transgender substitute teacher who drew parents' complaints after reportedly wearing provocative clothing and presenting themselves as a wolf persona around young students has been fired. Okay. The employee, who identified as female and non binary, taught at Mildred B. Poole Elementary School at Fort Braggs in North Carolina. Now, Fort Braggs, military installation, right? So these are military kids. We're talking about kindergarten. Kindergarten, right? Okay. So we have a so let's get into this. So we have a transgender substitute teacher who identifies as a wolf. Now, first of all, I didn't know that we could identify as animals. Really? I mean, I didn't like like hypothetically. I look like a man, but I identify as a woman. Okay. You feel like you was born in the wrong body and this, that, and the third. Okay, fine, no problem. But I didn't know that we could identify as animals. I can identify as a cat. I can identify as a dog. This person is identifying as a wolf, which means they wear provocative clothing, a dog collar around their neck, okay? And whatever outfit they wear, they have a tail, a furry tail. So a furry tail is connected to the back of every outfit that they wear. What is wrong with y'all? See, this is what I say. When I say mental illness is real, I think mental illness, we found so many other things and excuses for mental illness where, oh, it's this. I'm this person, but I identify as this. And I feel like some of this is just mental illness. How are you identifying as a wolf? First of all, you're transgender. So that you're transgender and goes as a woman. So you're a boy that's now a woman, um, and you identify as a wolf. So you wear provocative clothing, you wear a dog collar around your neck with a leash. Let's not forget that part. And you wear a tail, a furry tail connected to all your clothing. This is how you're coming to school as a substitute teacher for kindergarten kids on a military installation base. Are you for real? I mean, I'm like seriously, and I'm telling you, if y'all want to look up the story, I'm telling you, this happened at Mildred B. Poole Elementary School at Fort Bragg in North Carolina. That's because she identifies as female and non-binary, and identifies as a wolf. And now she's upset because parents didn't want to be taught by Felix the cat. And then what are you installing in these? They're kindergarten. That's when they're learning their one, two, threes, their ABCs. They're Are you kidding me? So now their teacher has a dog collar and a furry tail. And they didn't show a picture, so it was a woman that feels like she's a man. I mean, a man that feels like he's a woman because now he's going by as a woman, but he's identifying as a wolf. Like, I'm gay and I'm confused. Like, come on, like, for real. I have nothing against the LGBTQX, but at some point we have to call mental illness just what it is: mental illness, point blank. Yeah, we have to call it what it is. So our next story is about a kindergarten teacher. You ready for this one? Okay, I want to give you the whole story. Kindergarten teacher charged with assault after attacking a 5-year-old boy for breaking a pencil. Kindergarten teacher charged with assault after attacking a 5-year-old boy for breaking a pencil. Okay, now when they spoke to the school, this is what the school said, and then I'm going to tell you what the school said, right? And what this report says, but then I'm going to tell you what the court document said, and let's see what the difference is, okay? Give me 1 minute. Let me pull this down a little bit so I can get you the whole story. Okay. A Texas kindergarten teacher, right, was arrested after allegedly twisting a 5-year-old boy's arm and forcing him into a corner for breaking a pencil, excuse me. The teacher, named Pamela Mitchell, 64 years old, was taken into custody more than a month after police say she attacked a young boy in her Waco, Texas classroom at J.H. Hines Elementary for snapping a pencil, according to the arrest affidavit. Okay, now this is what they put out in this report. Now let me tell you what she really did. This is from the court documents, right? Court documents reveal that Mitchell grabbed the child, twisted his arm behind his back, drug him out of his chair, then used her knee and placed it in the center of his back, forcing him into a corner for breaking a pencil. This is who we have. This is kindergarten. Kindergarten. I have broke pencils and crayons. In kindergarten, you might have one might try to eat a pencil or might try to eat a crayon. And I mean, seriously, like these are kindergarten. Like these are some of the first times these kids are separated from their parents, on a regular day-to-day basis where they're away and they're in around other children and then they have other adults that they're listening to. This is where they're being molded. This is that molding time. So this teacher in Texas, so she grabbed his arm, twisted it behind his back, drug him out of his chair, then took her knee and put it in his back and forced him into a corner for breaking a pencil. Then the other teacher, she wants to come to school with a dog collar and a tail, and she's a wolf. I think y'all better start homeschooling. I don't have any kids. I am not a parent. And at this time, I would be scared. I would be so scared to have a kid in school at this time. We got wolves and cats and penguins teaching our kids. Do you have them abuse? Listen, I just want to let you know what it is, and that's what it is. Now we're going to continue to talk about children, but just not. Okay. How many of you guys are familiar with NBA YoungBoy? Well, NBA YoungBoy is a 26-year-old rapper, right? Okay, I'm gonna bring up a picture. This is NBA YoungBoy. He's a 26-year-old rapper. He has now had his 13th child. 13. 13. Okay, so now he has 9 baby mothers and now 13 children. He just had a child. Give me 1 second. He just had a child in February 22nd. He had his daughter by his wife. Now, he has 9 baby mothers, which one of those mothers is Floyd Mayweather's daughter, just in case you didn't know. So one of the 9 baby mothers, Floyd Mayweather's daughter, is one of them. Okay? Keep that in mind. So he's 26, he just turned 26 years old. He has 9 baby mothers. He has 13 children. Now, mind you, he did run off and get married. He got married January of 2023. We are now in 2026, right? And this is his third child with his wife, which meant before he got married to her, he already had 10 children because he's had 3 with her and he just had his 13th. So he's 26 years old, 9 baby mothers, 13 children. And see, my thing is, most people would be like, oh, what's the difference? Who cares? He can afford, it's not about affording. It's not about money. We've talked about this when we spoke about Nick Cannon and stuff, right? It's not the matter of the children. First of all, you have 13 children, you have to be out there getting that money. So you don't have a lot of spare time, I'm assuming. Okay? Speaking of Nick has more TV shows than ever. So get away from Nick Shard. Go back to NBA YoungBoy. NBA YoungBoy has 13 kids by 9 baby mothers. And it's not about the money if he can afford it or not, because he probably can afford it now. But the question is, would he be able to afford it in 10 years when he's not doing as well professionally and he has 13 kids to take care of? But it's about, when do you get to spend time with these kids? Like, seriously speaking, when do you get to spend time? Because I can understand if you had 6 by one woman and 4 or 5 by the next, but these 13 kids are spread out over 9 baby mothers, which means 9 different households, meaning kids are everywhere. When do you get to spend time with these 13 kids is my question. So for all you guys that think that this is cute and think that, oh, you're just spreading your seed, and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. and you're only 26. They state that you allegedly started having kids at 16. So for the past 10 years, you just turned 26. You had your first child at 16, NBA young boy. So within the past 10 years, you had 13 kids. 10 years. Okay. We went there. Anyway, this is gonna be my last story. I'm gonna let you guys go. Did you guys hear about the travel influencer Tara Woodcock? Well, she's the travel influencer, which means she has a YouTube page, and she travels, and she takes her subscribers with her. That's what she do. She travels. She tells you about airlines. She tells you about hotels. She stays in different hotels and lets you know how she rates them and what she thinks of them. Well, this travel influencer, Tara Woodcock, um, shared a travel hack that included washing your dirty underwear in a coffee pot. Yeah, in a coffee pot. Now you know how all your rooms. I don't care. I don't know. I don't frequent motels, but every hotel room I've seen always have had a coffee machine with the little tea bags, coffee things, whatever. Yada yada yada. And I don't think that I've ever used one because we don't travel quite that way. And then when we do travel, we're not coffee drinkers, so I can wait till I get to breakfast to have some tea or something. You know what I mean? But for those of you, I know some real coffee drinkers, and they don't even speak to them before until they have coffee. So those of us imagine being away on vacation with our spouse or whomever, and they're not ready as fast as we're ready, or vice versa. So you're waiting a little bit. It's like, you know what? Let me get my first cup of coffee to get me going for the day. I can take it with me, carry it with me on my way to breakfast, and you make you some coffee and drink it. Well, stop doing that. Yeah, stop doing that. This chick told people to put their dirty underwear in the coffee machine, and however it is you fill it up with water and it steams that water through as if it would be the filter. Well, the filter is now in your underclothes. And then she tells you to take them out and then dry them with a blow dryer. I don't understand this, oh, nasty chick. How about filling your sink up with hot water? Put some soap in there, something in there, and wash them, and then dry them with a blow dryer, nasty, instead of telling people to put. So now there's possibly a $1 million lawsuit coming from the hotel that she filmed this at, because she did it and she told them and showed them the hack. How disgusting is that? I mean, really, seriously, all jokes aside, how disgusting is that? Out of everything else we're worrying about, and we're trying to eat better and do better, this chick telling people to wash their underwear in the coffee maker that you're gonna drink from. Anything for likes and giggles and subscribers. I'm not willing to do any and everything to get people to listen to me or to like me. It's not that serious to me. I do this because I want to do it. When I no longer want to do it, I won't do it anymore. But I do it because I love people. It's an outlet. And I started doing this and I like it. But these people will do anything to get you to subscribe, like, share. I'm not. Listen, I love you guys. I want you to be intentional. Um, I want you to check on your strong friends. I want you to check on your strong family members. The ones that look strong may not be as strong as you think. And just look after one another. Be intentional. I love you guys. See you soon. Have a great day.